The office party is in full swing, the hum of conversations and clinking glasses filling the room. I weave through the crowd, shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries with Emily's colleagues. My name is John, a middle-aged, hard-working man devoted to my wife, Emily. As I navigate the sea of faces, I can't help but feel a sense of pride. Emily and I have built a seemingly perfect life together. Emily looks stunning tonight, her dress hugging her curves in all the right places. She laughs at something Mr. Wallace, her boss, says, and I can't shake the feeling of unease that has been growing lately. Emily has been obsessed with her job, spending more late nights at the office, and her boss seems to be at the center of it all. Our relationship has always been strong, but recently there's been an underlying tension. I've noticed the increasing distance between us, the way she avoids eye contact when I ask about her day. I tell myself it's just work stress, but the nagging doubt remains. I take a sip of my drink, watching Emily from across the room. She seems to be enjoying herself, but there's something in her eyes that I can't quite place. I'm about to head over to her when she slips away, moving toward the hallway leading to the guest rooms. "Where are you going?" I ask, but she doesn't hear me over the noise. Curiosity piqued, I follow her, weaving through the throng of people. She's heading toward one of the guest rooms. My heart pounds as I quicken my pace, a strange sense of foreboding washing over me. As I reach the doorway, I hear muffled voices from inside. Pushing the door open a crack, I freeze. Emily is on her knees, her boss's pants around his ankles. The shock slams into me like a freight train. I can't breathe, can't think. The scene before me shatters my world. Mr. Wallace's voice is low and smug. "You know promotions come with a small price, Emily." Rage boils within me, and I lunge forward without thinking. My vision narrows to a tunnel focused solely on Wallace. Emily's eyes widen in horror as I storm into the room. My fist connects with Wallace's jaw, the impact reverberating up my arm. He stumbles back, a mix of surprise and pain on his face. "John!" Emily's voice is a sharp cry, filled with shock and fear. She scrambles to her feet, her face flushed with guilt and panic. Wallace recovers, his expression morphing into anger. "You're making a big mistake," he snarls, adjusting his pants. The room spins as I struggle to process what I've just seen. My love for Emily, my trust in her, all of it feels like a cruel joke. I turn and storm out of the room, the party abruptly falling silent as people notice the commotion. Emily calls after me, but I can't stop. I need air, need to get away from the betrayal and the pain. As I step into the cool night air, my mind races. Everything I thought I knew about my life has been turned upside down in an instant. The shock, the anger, the heartbreak, it all crashes over me in waves. And beneath it all, a cold, hard resolve begins to form. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. I storm out of the office, my mind reeling from the shock. My fists are still clenched, and my heart pounds like a jackhammer. I can't believe what I just saw. Emily, my Emily, with her boss, Mr. Wallace. My emotions are a chaotic whirlwind. Anger, betrayal, heartbreak. I feel like my world has been ripped apart. "John, wait!" Emily's voice calls after me, but I can't face her right now. I need space to think, to process. I push through the front doors and into the cool night air, trying to steady my breathing. I feel sick to my stomach. I walk aimlessly, my mind replaying the scene over and over. Emily on her knees, Wallace's smug expression, his words echoing in my ears. "You know promotions come with a small price." I clench my teeth, my anger boiling over. How could she do this to me? To us? After what feels like hours, I find myself at a small park. I sit on a bench, burying my face in my hands. I don't know what to do. My trust in Emily is shattered, and the pain is unbearable. I think about our life together, the good times, the love we shared. How did it come to this? My phone buzzes in my pocket. It's Emily. I ignore it, not ready to hear her excuses. I need time to think. I need to figure out my next steps. I sit there lost in my thoughts until the early hours of the morning. Eventually, I make my way back home, dreading the confrontation that awaits. When I walk in, Emily is sitting on the couch, her eyes red from crying. She stands up as I enter, but I hold up a hand to stop her. "Don't," I say, my voice hoarse. "I can't do this right now." "John, please, let me explain," she pleads, tears streaming down her face. "Explain what?" I snap. "How you were screwing your boss for a promotion? How you betrayed me?" She flinches at my words, but I don't care. I feel too much hurt and anger to hold back. "I need some time," I say, turning away from her. "I need to think." I head to the spare bedroom and close the door, leaning against it as I try to steady my breathing. I don't sleep that night, my mind too full of questions and pain. The next morning, I call in sick to work. I can't face anyone right now. Days pass in a blur. Emily and I avoid each other, the tension in the house palpable. I can't stop thinking about what happened, about what I saw. My trust in Emily is shattered, and I don't know if I can ever get it back. One evening, Emily corners me in the kitchen. "We need to talk," she says, her voice trembling. I nod, knowing she's right. We can't keep avoiding this. We sit down at the table and she starts to speak. "John, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. It was a mistake. A terrible mistake." "A mistake?" I ask, my voice rising. "You call what you did a mistake? You were with him, Emily. How am I supposed to believe anything you say now?" She starts crying again, and I feel a pang of guilt. Despite everything, I still love her. But love isn't enough to erase the betrayal. "I need to know why," I say softly. "Why did you do it?" "It's complicated," she says, wiping her tears. "Wallace, he's been pressuring me for months. I felt like I had no choice." I shake my head, struggling to understand. "You had a choice, Emily. You could have come to me. We could have figured it out together." She looks down, her shoulders shaking with sobs. "I know. I was scared, John. Scared of losing my job, of disappointing you. I made a terrible mistake and I hate myself for it." Her words hit me hard. I see the pain and regret in her eyes, and for a moment, my anger softens. But the betrayal is still too fresh, too raw. "I need time," I say again, standing up. "I need to figure out if I can ever trust you again." The days that follow are filled with awkward silences and painful conversations. I can see that Emily is genuinely remorseful, but my trust in her is shattered. I start to contemplate my next steps, wondering if our marriage can survive this. One night, as I lie awake in the spare bedroom, my mind drifts to Wallace. He's the one who started all of this, who manipulated Emily and ruined our lives. My anger shifts from Emily to him, and I realize that I need to do something. I can't just let him get away with this. The next morning, I call a lawyer. I explain the situation, and he agrees to meet with me. As I hang up the phone, I feel a sense of purpose for the first time in days. I'm going to make Wallace pay for what he's done. I spend the next few weeks gathering evidence. I talk to Emily, trying to get more details about Wallace's actions. She's hesitant at first, but eventually she starts to open up. I learn about the other women he's harassed, the threats he's made to keep them silent. Armed with this information, I meet with my lawyer. We discuss our options, and he advises me to go public with the story. It's risky, but I know it's the right thing to do. Wallace needs to be held accountable. We file a lawsuit against Wallace and the company. The news spreads quickly, and soon the media was ultra of the story, and I give interviews, talking about what happened in exposing Wallace's. It's exhausting and overwhelming, but I feel a sense of justice. Wallace's reputation takes a hit. The company is forced to launch an internal investigation. Throughout all of this, Emily and I continue to struggle. The lawsuit and media attention put a strain on our already fragile relationship. Have more painful conversations and trying to navigate the fallout of her betrayal. It's not easy, and there are times when I wonder if we'll ever be able to move past this. One night, Emily approaches me with a tentative smile. "I've been seeing a therapist," she says. "I'm trying to understand why I did what I did, and then how to make things right." I'm surprised but also relieved. It's a step in the right direction, and I can see that she's making an effort. "That's good," I say, my voice softening. "I'm glad you're getting help." We sit down and really talk for the first time in weeks. Emily opens up about her fears and insecurities, about the pressure she felt at work. I listen, trying to understand her
start to see this situation in a new light. It progresses as the company takes action against Wallace. He's suspended and the investigation.
There's more victims. It's a small victory, but yeah, it feels like a step toward justice. Emilio and I continue to work on our relationship. We go to couples therapy on trying to that was shattered on her. It's not a long, difficult process, but I start to see glimpses of see the woman I fell in love with, the woman who made a terrible mistake but is trying to make things right. The media frenzy eventually dies down and life starts to some semblance of normalcy. The lawsuit is settled and Wallace is fired. The company implements new policies to prevent future harassment, and I feel a sense of satisfaction knowing that I made a difference. Emily and I still have a long way to go, but we're committed to rebuilding our relationship. We take it one day at a time, learning to trust each other again. It's not easy, and there are still moments of doubt and pain, but we're moving forward. One evening, as we sit on the porch, Emily reaches for my hand. "Thank you," she says softly, "for giving us a second chance." I squeeze her hand, feeling a glimmer of hope. "We'll get through this," I say, "together." As I look out at the sunset, I feel a sense of peace. The journey isn't over, but we're on the right path. We face the worst and come out stronger on the other side, and for the first time in a long time, I feel hopeful about our future. I wake up feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders. Emily is already up, moving quietly around the kitchen. We exchange a brief, tense glance. It's been weeks since that night at the party, and our conversations have been sparse and strained. I sit down with my coffee, the silence between us thick and uncomfortable. I know we need to talk, but every attempt ends in frustration. Today, though, I'm determined to break through the barrier that's grown between us. "Emily, we need to talk," I say, my voice steady. She looks up, her eyes wary. "I know," she says softly. "We can't keep going like this." I nod, feeling a flicker of hope. "Let's go for a walk, clear our heads and talk things through." We head out, the cool morning air a welcome relief from the stifling atmosphere at home. We walk in silence for a while, the tension between us palpable. Finally, I break the silence. "Why did you do it, Emily? Why Wallace?" She sighs, looking away. "I've been asking myself that question every day. I was under so much pressure at work, and he made it seem like I had no choice. I felt trapped, and I was scared." "Scared of what?" I ask, my frustration bubbling to the surface. "Of losing your job? Of disappointing me?" "Both," she admits, her voice breaking. "I thought I was doing it for us, for our future. But I know now that I made a terrible mistake." I take a deep breath, trying to process her words. I want to believe her, but the betrayal still stings. "We need to rebuild our trust, Emily, but it's not going to be easy." "I know," she says, her eyes filled with tears. "I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I love you, John. I never stopped loving you." Her words hit me hard, and for a moment I see a glimmer of the woman I fell in love with. "I love you too, Emily," I say softly, "but we need to be honest with each other from now on." We walk back home, a fragile sense of hope beginning to take root. It's a small step, but it's a start. The next day I get a call from my lawyer. "John, we need to talk. Wallace is pushing back hard. He's using his influence to discredit you and Emily. We need more evidence." I feel a surge of anger. "What can we do?" "We need to find other victims. If we can prove a pattern of behavior, it'll strengthen our case." I spend the next few days reaching out to Emily's co-workers, trying to find others who might have been targeted by Wallace. It's a delicate process, and many are too scared to speak up. But eventually I find a few women who are willing to talk. We meet in a small cafe, away from prying eyes. "Thank you for coming," I say, my voice earnest. "I know this isn't easy." One of the women, Karen, nods. "We can't let him get away with this. He's ruined too many lives." Another woman, Lisa, chimes in. "He threatened me, said he'd ruin my career if I didn't do what he wanted. I was too scared to speak up." Their stories are heartbreaking, and my resolve hardens. "We're going to make sure he pays for what he's done," I say, determination in my voice. We gather their testimonies and present them to my lawyer. He nods, looking impressed. "This is good, John. This will help our case. The next few weeks are a whirlwind of legal proceedings and media attention. The story blows up, and Wallace's reputation takes a hit. But he doesn't go down without a fight. He uses his connections to discredit me, to paint me as a jealous, vengeful husband. The stress takes its toll on me and Emily. We argue more often, the strain of the lawsuit and the media attention driving a wedge between us. I don't know how much more of this I can take, Emily says one night, her voice breaking. We can't give up now, I say, trying to reassure her. We're so close. One night, as I'm going through some old files, I find something that makes my heart stop. It's an email from Wallace to Emily, dated months before the incident. In it, he threatens her, implying that if she doesn't comply with his demands, he'll ruin her career. I show it to my lawyer the next day. This is it, he says, his eyes lighting up. This could be the smoking gun we need. We present the email in court, and the atmosphere in the courtroom shifts. Wallace's smug demeanor falters, and I see a flicker of fear in his eyes. The media picks up on it, and suddenly the tide turns in our favor. Emily and I sit in the courtroom, holding hands as the judge delivers the verdict. Mr. Wallace, your actions have been reprehensible. You've abused your power and caused immense harm. I hereby find you guilty of sexual harassment and coercion. A wave of relief washes over me. We did it. We brought him down. But the battle isn't over yet. Wallace's legal team files an appeal, and the fight continues. The media frenzy dies down, but the damage to our lives remains. Emily and I continue to work on our relationship, going to therapy and trying to rebuild what was broken. It's not easy, and there are days when I wonder if we'll ever fully recover. But we're committed to each other, and that gives me hope. One evening, as we're sitting on the porch, Emily turns to me. I want to move, she says, her voice soft. I think we need a fresh start, away from all of this. I nod, understanding her need to escape the memories that haunt us. Where do you want to go? Somewhere quiet, she says. Somewhere we can rebuild our lives. We start making plans, looking for a new place to call home. It feels good to focus on the future, to think about what lies ahead. We know it won't be easy, but we're ready to face it together. The next few months are a blur of packing and moving. We find a small house in a quiet town, far from the chaos of the city. It's a fresh start, a chance to rebuild our lives and our relationship. We settle into our new home, finding comfort in the simplicity of our surroundings. The stress of the past year begins to fade, replaced by a sense of peace and hope. Emily and I continue to work on our relationship, building trust and rediscovering the love we once shared. One night, as we're lying in bed, Emily turns to me. Thank you, she says softly, for standing by me, for fighting for us. I smile, feeling a warmth in my chest. We've been through hell, but we made it, together. As I drift off to sleep, I feel a sense of contentment that I haven't felt in a long time. The journey has been painful, but it's brought us closer. We've faced our demons and come out stronger on the other side. The next morning, I wake up to the sound of birds chirping outside our window. Emily is still asleep, her face peaceful. I watch her for a moment, feeling grateful for the second chance we've been given. I get up and head to the kitchen, starting the coffee. As I sip my drink, I think about the future. There will be challenges, but I know we can face them together. We've proven that we're stronger than we ever thought possible. As the sun rises, I feel a sense of hope and renewal. We've been through the worst, and now it's time to rebuild. Together we can create a new life, a new beginning, and I know deep down that we'll be okay. Emily joins me in the kitchen, her eyes bright with the promise of a new day. Good morning, she says, wrapping her arms around me. Good morning, I reply, kissing her forehead. Here's to a fresh start. We sit down to breakfast, the morning light streaming through the window. The past is behind us, and the future is ours to shape. Together we'll face whatever comes our way. And for the first time in a long time, I feel truly happy. As we finish our meal, Emily reaches for my hand. I love you, John. I love you too, Emily, I say, squeezing her hand. Always. We sit there, enjoying the quiet of our new home, feeling a sense of peace and hope for the future. The journey has been long and hard, but we've made it through. Together, we're ready to face whatever comes next. I sit at my desk, staring at the pile of evidence I've collected against Wallace. It's been a grueling few weeks, and the pressure is mounting. Emily and I are barely holding on, but I can't afford to be distracted now. I've got one shot to take Wallace down, and I need to make it count. The sun is setting, casting long shadows across the room. I pick up my phone and dial my lawyer. "We need to move on this," I say, my voice tight with urgency. "I've got enough to expose him, but it's risky." "John, you know what's at stake," he replies. "If we go public with this, Wallace will come after you with everything he's got. Are you ready for that?" "I don't have a choice," I say, feeling a surge of determination. He's ruined too many lives, and I'm not going to let him get away with it. We set a meeting for the next day, and I spend the night combing through the files, making sure everything is in order. Emily comes into the room looking exhausted. "Are you coming to bed?" she asks softly. "Soon," I reply, not taking my eyes off the papers. "I need to finish this." She nods, a look of resignation on her face. "I'm scared, John. What if this backfires?" I turn to her, my heart aching. "I know it's risky, but we have to do this. Wallace can't keep getting away with it. Trust me." She sighs, her shoulders slumping. "I do trust you. I just hope we're doing the right thing." The next day I meet with my lawyer and we go over the plan. We'll present the evidence to the media, ensuring it gets maximum exposure. It's a high-stakes gamble, but it's our best shot. As we leave the office, I feel a mix of fear and exhilaration. The thought of finally bringing Wallace to justice is intoxicating, but the potential fallout is daunting. Emily and I have been through so much, and I know this could push us to the breaking point. The following week is a blur of interviews and press conferences. The story gains traction, and Wallace's facade begins to crumble. He goes on the offensive, trying to discredit me and paint me as a vengeful husband. The media frenzy is relentless, and Emily and I find ourselves under constant scrutiny. One evening after a particularly brutal day, Emily and I sit in our living room, the tension between us thick. "I don't know how much more of this I can take," she says, her voice trembling. "We're so close," I reply, trying to reassure her. "We can't give up now." "I'm trying, John, but it's tearing us apart," she says, tears in her eyes. "I feel like we're losing each other." I reach out, taking her hand. "I know it's hard, but we have to stay strong. Wallace wants us to break. We can't let him win." She nods, but I can see the doubt in her eyes. The pressure is getting to both of us, and I'm not sure how much longer we can hold on. A few days later, I get a call from my lawyer. "John, we've got a break. One of Wallace's former assistants is willing to testify. She has damning evidence against him." My heart races. This could be the turning point we've been waiting for. We arrange a meeting with the assistant, a young woman named Lisa. She's nervous but determined to tell her story. "I can't let him ruin any more lives," she says, her voice shaking. "He's been getting away with this for too long." Her testimony is explosive, providing the final piece of the puzzle we need to bring Wallace down. We prepare for the trial, knowing the stakes couldn't be higher. The day of the trial arrives and the courtroom is packed. Wallace sits across from me, his smug expression replaced with one of anger and fear. Emily is by my side, her presence giving me strength. The prosecution presents the evidence, and Lisa's testimony is a turning point. She recounts her experiences in harrowing detail, and I see the impact it has on the jury. Wallace's defense crumbles under the weight of the evidence, and I feel a surge of hope. As the trial progresses, the tension is unbearable. Emily and I hold our breath, waiting for the verdict. When the jury finally returns, the atmosphere is electric with anticipation. "We find the defendant guilty on all charges," the foreman announces, and a wave of relief washes over me. We did it. Wallace is finally being held accountable for his actions. The courtroom erupts in chaos as Wallace is led away in handcuffs. I turn to Emily and we embrace, tears of relief streaming down our faces. It's over. The nightmare is finally over. In the days that follow, the reality of our victory sinks in. Wallace is sentenced to prison, and the company implements new policies to prevent future harassment. The media frenzy dies down, and life starts to return to some semblance of normalcy. But the damage to our relationship is done. Emily and I are still struggling to rebuild the trust that was shattered. We continue to go to therapy, working through our issues one step at a time. One evening, as we're sitting on the porch, Emily turns to me. I want to thank you, John, she says softly, for standing by me, for fighting for us. I love you, Emily, I reply, my voice thick with emotion. We've been through hell, but we made it. Together. She smiles, and for the first time in a long time, I see a glimmer of hope in her eyes. We still have a long way to go, she says, but I think we're going to be okay. I nod, feeling a sense of peace. We will be. We've faced the worst, and we've come out stronger. As we sit there watching the sun set, I feel a sense of contentment. The journey has been painful, but it's brought us closer. We've faced our demons and come out the other side, stronger and more united. The next few months are a time of healing and rebuilding. Emily and I continue to work on our relationship, rediscovering the love we once shared. It's not easy, and there are still moments of doubt and pain, but we're committed to each other. One evening, as we're lying in bed, Emily turns to me. I think we should renew our vows, she says, her voice filled with hope. I smile, feeling a warmth in my chest. I'd like that, I say. A fresh start. We start making plans, looking forward to the future with a renewed sense of hope. The past is behind us, and the future is ours to shape. On the day of our vow renewal, we stand in front of our friends and family, holding hands and looking into each other's eyes. I promise to love you, to stand by you, and to always fight for us, I say, my voice filled with emotion. And I promise to be honest, to trust you, and to never take our love for granted, Emily replies, tears in her eyes. As we exchange rings and seal our vows with a kiss, I feel a sense of joy and peace. We've been through the worst, and we've come out stronger. Together, we're ready to face whatever comes next. As we celebrate with our loved ones, I look around at the smiling faces and feel a sense of gratitude. We've been given a second chance, and we're not going to waste it. That night, as we lie in bed, Emily snuggles close to me. I love you, John, she whispers. I love you too, Emily, I reply, holding her close. Always. As we drift off to sleep, I feel a sense of contentment that I haven't felt in a long time. The journey has been long and hard, but it's brought us closer. We've faced our demons and come out stronger on the other side. The next morning, I wake up to the sound of birds chirping outside our window. Emily is still asleep, her face peaceful. I watch her for a moment, feeling grateful for the second chance we've been given. I get up and head to the kitchen, starting the coffee. As I sip my drink, I think about the future. There will be challenges, but I know we can face them together. We've proven that we're stronger than we ever thought possible. As the sun rises, I feel a sense of hope and renewal. We've been through the worst, and now it's time to rebuild. Together, we can create a new life, a new beginning. And I know, deep down, that we'll be okay. Emily joins me in the kitchen, her eyes bright with the promise of a new day. Good morning, she says, wrapping her arms around me. Good morning, I reply, kissing her forehead. Here's to a fresh start. We sit down to breakfast, the morning light streaming through the window. The past is behind us, and the future is ours to shape. Together, we'll face whatever comes our way. And for the first time in a long time, I feel truly happy. As we finish our meal, Emily reaches for my hand. I love you, John. I love you too, Emily, I say, squeezing her hand. Always. We sit there, enjoying the quiet of our new home, feeling a sense of peace and hope for the future. The journey has been long and hard. I sit at my desk, staring at the photograph of Emily and me from our wedding day. It's been a whirlwind since the trial, but I finally feel a sense of peace. With Wallace behind bars and the media frenzy dying down, Emily and I can focus on rebuilding our lives. But the scars are still there, and trust isn't something that can be easily restored. I take a deep breath and look at the evidence spread across my desk. It's time to bring Wallace down completely, not just for us, but for everyone he's hurt. I call my lawyer and outline my plan. We're going to involve the legal authorities and the media to ensure Wallace can't wiggle out of this one. Are you sure about this, John? My lawyer asks. This will put you both back in the spotlight. We have to do this, I say, my voice firm. Wallace needs to be held accountable for everything he's done. The next few days are a blur of meetings and preparations. I work closely with my lawyer, gathering every piece of evidence we have. Emily is by my side, her presence a constant reminder of why we're fighting. She's been seeing a therapist and making strides towards healing, and I'm proud of her strength. One evening, as we sit in the living room, I turn to Emily. "Are you ready for this?" I ask. She nods, her eyes determined. "I'm ready. It's time we end this for good." The day we go public with the new evidence, the media descends on us once again. We hold a press conference presenting the damning information. The atmosphere is electric, and I can see the tide turning in our favor. Wallace's remaining supporters start to distance themselves, and the legal authorities take immediate action. As the fallout from the new revelations unfolds, Emily and I face the aftermath together. We attend couples therapy, working through our issues and slowly rebuilding trust. It's a long and difficult process, but we're committed to each other. Our conversations become more open and honest, and we begin to heal. One night, Emily and I sit on the porch watching the sunset. "Do you think we'll ever truly move past this?" she asks, her voice tinged with uncertainty. "I believe we will," I reply, squeezing her hand. "We've come so far, and we're stronger now. It's not going to be easy, but I know we can do it." Emily smiles, and for the first time in a long while, I see hope in her eyes. "I love you, John," she says softly. "I love you too, Emily," I reply, feeling a warmth in my chest. Always. As the legal battle against Wallace intensifies, we receive word that he's been found guilty on additional charges. The news is a relief, and I feel a weight lift off my shoulders. The sense of justice is empowering, and I know we've done the right thing. With the crisis beginning to subside, Emily and I focus on our future. My career, which took a hit during the ordeal, slowly starts to recover. Opportunities arise, and I find myself rebuilding my professional reputation. Emily, too, begins to heal and grow. She starts a new job in a healthier environment, and I can see her confidence returning. One evening, we sit in our living room discussing our plans. "I've been thinking about starting my own business," Emily says, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "That's a great idea," I reply, feeling a surge of pride. "You'd be amazing at it." "I want to create a space where people feel safe and valued," she continues. "A place where no one has to go through what we did." I nod, my heart swelling with love for her. "I support you completely, Emily. Let's make it happen." We begin to plan for her new venture, working together to bring her vision to life. It's a new chapter for us, and I feel a renewed sense of hope and purpose. The crisis may have shaken us to our core, but it also brought us closer and made us stronger. As we navigate this new phase of our lives, I find myself reflecting on the journey we've been through. It's been a harrowing experience, but it's also taught us valuable lessons about love, trust, and resilience. We've faced our demons and come out the other side ready to build a future together. One morning, I wake up to find Emily already in the kitchen, working on her business plan. I watch her for a moment, feeling a deep sense of contentment. We've been through hell and back, but we've made it, together. "Good morning," I say, wrapping my arms around her. "Good morning," she replies, leaning into me. "I was just thinking about how far we've come." "We've come a long way," I agree, kissing her forehead, "and we're just getting started." As we sit down to breakfast, the morning light streaming through the window, I feel a sense of peace. The past is behind us, and the future is bright. We're ready to face whatever comes our way, knowing that we have each other. In the months that follow, Emily's business takes off. She creates a space where people feel safe and valued, and it's a resounding success. I watch her flourish, her confidence growing with each passing day. It's a joy to see her so happy and fulfilled. My career also continues to recover, and I find myself taking on new and exciting projects. The challenges we faced have made me stronger, and I approach my work with a renewed sense of purpose. As we settle into our new life, Emily and I take the time to reconnect and strengthen our relationship. We go on dates, take weekend trips, and make an effort to be present for each other. The trust that was once shattered is slowly being rebuilt, and our love grows deeper with each passing day. One evening, as we sit on the porch watching the sunset, Emily turns to me. "I'm proud of us, John," she says, her voice filled with emotion. "We've been through so much, but we've come out stronger." "I'm proud of us too," I reply, taking her hand in mine. "We've faced our demons and won together." We sit there in comfortable silence, the weight of the past lifting as we look towards the future. The journey has been long and hard, but it's brought us closer and made us stronger. We're ready to face whatever comes next, knowing that we have each other. As the weeks turn into months and the months into years, Emily and I continue to grow and evolve. We face new challenges and celebrate new victories, always supporting each other along the way. Our love deepens and our bond strengthens, forged in the fires of adversity. One day, as we're sitting in our living room, I turn to Emily. "I've been thinking about writing a book," I say, feeling a spark of excitement. "Really?" she replies, her eyes lighting up. "What about?" "About our journey," I say. "About everything we've been through and how we came out the other side. I think it could help others who are going through similar struggles." "I think that's a wonderful idea," she says, squeezing my hand. "You have a powerful story to tell." I smile, feeling a sense of purpose. Then I'm going to do it. As I begin to write, I reflect on our journey. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, filled with highs and lows, but it's also been a testament to the power of love and resilience. We've faced our darkest moments and come out stronger, and I'm proud of the life we've built together. As I write the final words of our story, I feel a sense of closure. The past is behind us, and the future is bright. We're ready to face whatever comes our way, knowing that we have each other. Emily and I sit on the porch watching the sunset, our hands intertwined. "Here's to our future," I say, raising my glass. "Here's to us," she replies, her eyes shining with love. We toast to our journey, to our love, and to the future. Together, we face the worst and come out stronger. And I know without a doubt that we're ready for whatever comes next. The courtroom is packed, tension hanging heavy in the air. Today is the final showdown. Mr. Wallace, defiant and smug, sits across from me. His lawyers whisper furiously in his ear, but I know they're running out of tricks. Emily sits beside me, her presence a constant source of strength. We've come a long way, and today justice will be served. The judge calls the court to order. My lawyer stands, presenting the final arguments. "Mr. Wallace has used his position of power to exploit and intimidate countless individuals," he says, his voice steady and clear. "Today we seek not just justice for my client, but for all those who have suffered at his hands." Wallace's lawyer counters, trying to paint me as a vindictive husband with a personal vendetta, but the evidence is irrefutable. We have the testimonies, the emails, and the victims' courage to stand up and tell their stories. As the proceedings continue, I find myself reflecting on the journey that brought us here. Emily and I have faced our darkest moments, but we've also found strength in each other. We've rebuilt our trust, piece by piece, and today marks the culmination of that effort. The judge adjourns for a brief recess, and I step outside to clear my head. Emily follows, her hand slipping into mine. "How are you holding up?" she asks, her eyes searching mine. "I'm nervous," I admit, squeezing her hand. "But I know we're doing the right thing." She nods, a small smile playing on her lips. "We are. No matter what happens, I'm proud of you, John. We fought hard for this." We stand there in silence for a moment, drawing strength from each other. When the judge returns, we take our seats, bracing ourselves for the final verdict. The judge's voice is measured and firm. After reviewing the evidence and hearing the testimonies, it is clear that Mr. Wallace has engaged in a pattern of unethical and illegal behavior. This court finds him guilty on all charges. A wave of relief washes over me. It's over. Wallace is led away in handcuffs, his expression finally betraying a hint of fear. The media swarms, but I block out the noise, focusing on Emily. We've won, and justice has been served. In the days that follow, the news of Wallace's conviction spreads. The company issues public apologies and implements strict new policies to prevent future harassment. It's a victory not just for us, but for everyone who's been affected by his actions. Emily and I continue to work on our relationship, finding solace in the small moments of everyday life. We celebrate our victory, but we also remain mindful of the work we still need to do. Trust is a fragile thing, and rebuilding it requires patience and dedication. One evening, as we sit on our porch, Emily turns to me. "I've been thinking a lot about the future," she says, her voice soft. "What about it?" I ask, curious. "I want to use my experience to help others," she says. "Maybe start a support group for victims of workplace harassment. It's something I feel passionate about." I nod, feeling a surge of pride. "That's a wonderful idea. You'd be amazing at it." She smiles, her eyes lighting up with excitement. And what about you? Any plans? I've been thinking about writing a book, I admit, about our journey, everything we've been through. It might help others going through similar struggles. That's a great idea, John, she says, squeezing my hand. You have a powerful story to tell. As we discuss our plans, I feel a sense of hope and purpose. The journey has been long and painful, but it's also been transformative. We've learned valuable lessons about love, trust, and resilience, and we're ready to face whatever comes next. Over the next few months, Emily and I dive into our new projects. She starts her support group, helping others navigate their own journeys of healing. Her passion and empathy shine through, and I see her confidence grow with each passing day. I begin to write our story, pouring my heart and soul into the pages. It's a cathartic process, helping me make sense of everything we've been through. The book starts to take shape, and I find myself feeling more at peace with each word. Our lives settle into a new rhythm, one marked by hope and renewal. We continue to work on our relationship, strengthening the bond that was once so fragile. Trust is rebuilt, and our love deepens. One day, Emily surprises me with a small celebration. "What's this for?" I ask, grinning as I see the cake and decorations. "It's for us," she says, her eyes sparkling. "To celebrate how far we've come." We spend the evening reminiscing about our journey, laughing and crying as we recount the highs and lows. It's a reminder of our resilience and the strength of our love. As the night winds down, Emily pulls me close. "I love you, John," she whispers. "I love you too, Emily," I reply, feeling a warmth in my chest. "Always." We fall asleep wrapped in each other's arms, the past finally behind us. The future is bright, and we're ready to face it together. The months turn into years, and Emily and I continue to grow and evolve. Her support group flourishes, and she becomes a beacon of hope for many. My book is published, and it resonates with readers, helping them find their own paths to healing. Our relationship, once so broken, is now stronger than ever. We've faced our demons and come out the other side, ready to embrace whatever comes next. We've learned that love is not just about the good times, but also about standing by each other through the darkest moments. One day as we're sitting on our porch, Emily turns to me. "I'm proud of us, John," she says, her voice filled with emotion. "We've been through so much, but we've come out stronger." "I'm proud of us too," I reply, taking her hand in mine. "We've faced the worst, and we've come out the other side." We sit there in comfortable silence, watching the sun set and feeling a sense of peace. The journey has been long and hard, but it's brought us closer. We're ready to face whatever comes next, knowing that we have each other. As we look toward the future, I feel a sense of excitement and hope. We've been given a second chance, and we're not going to waste it. Together, we'll continue to grow and evolve, facing whatever challenges come our way. Our journey has taught us valuable lessons about love, trust, and resilience. We've learned that true strength comes from standing by each other, even in the darkest times. And as we embark on this new chapter of our lives, I know that we're ready for whatever comes next. Emily and I toast to our future, raising our glasses in celebration. "Here's to us," I say, my voice filled with emotion. "Here's to us," she replies, her eyes shining with love. We toast to our journey, to our love, and to the future. Together, we've faced the worst and come out stronger. And I know without a doubt that we're ready for whatever comes next. The sun is setting, casting a warm glow over our porch. Emily and I sit together, hands intertwined, reflecting on everything we've been through. The journey has been long and arduous, filled with heartache and triumph. But we've emerged stronger, more united. I think back to that fateful night at the office party. The image of Emily and Wallace in the guest room is burned into my memory, a stark reminder of the betrayal that nearly tore us apart. But it's also a reminder of how far we've come. We faced the darkness and came out the other side, our love and trust rebuilt. "Do you ever think about what might have happened if we hadn't fought back?" Emily asks, breaking the comfortable silence. "All the time," as I admit, "but I know we made the right choice. Wallace needed to be held accountable, and we needed to fight for our relationship." She nods, her eyes thoughtful. "It's been a long road, but I'm proud of us. We didn't let him win." "We didn't," I agree, squeezing her hand. "And now we have a future to look forward to, a future we've earned." Emily's support group is thriving, helping countless victims find their voice and strength. Her dedication and empathy are inspiring, and I'm in awe of her resilience. Watching her grow and flourish has been one of the greatest joys of my life. My book has been published, and the response has been overwhelming. People resonate with our story, finding hope and strength in our journey. It's humbling to know that our experiences can help others navigate their own struggles. Our relationship, once fractured, is now a testament to the power of love and perseverance. We've learned to communicate openly, to trust each other completely, and to cherish every moment together. The scars are still there, but they've become a part of our story, a reminder of the battles we've fought and won. One evening, as we're preparing dinner, Emily turns to me with a smile. "I got a call from a publisher today. They're interested in turning my experiences into a book. They think it could help a lot of people." "That's amazing," I say, pulling her into a hug. "You have so much to share, Emily. Your story will inspire so many." She rests her head on my shoulder, and I feel a deep sense of contentment. "Thank you for always believing in me, John." "Always," I reply, kissing her forehead. "We're a team. We've faced the worst, and now we get to enjoy the best." As we sit down to eat, the phone rings. It's my lawyer with news about Wallace. He's facing additional charges from other victims who've come forward, and his appeal has been denied. Justice, it seems, is finally catching up to him. I hang up the phone and share the news with Emily. Her eyes shine with relief and triumph. "It's over," she says, her voice filled with emotion. "It's really over." "It is," I say, taking her hand. "We did it." In the days that follow, the weight of the past continues to lift. We focus on the present and the future, making plans and setting new goals. We talk about traveling, about starting new projects, and about continuing to support each other's dreams. One morning, as we're having coffee on the porch, Emily looks at me with a serious expression. "I want to start a family," she says. "I know it's something we talked about before, and I think we're ready now." I'm taken aback for a moment, but then a smile spreads across my face. "I'd love that," I say, my heart swelling with love and excitement. "I'd love to start a family with you, Emily." We begin planning for the future, filled with hope and anticipation. The idea of starting a family brings a new sense of purpose and joy. We've overcome so much together, and now we're ready to build something new. As we prepare for this new chapter, I find myself reflecting on the lessons we've learned. Love isn't always easy, it's messy and complicated, but it's also the most powerful force in the world. It's what kept us fighting, what helped us heal, and what will guide us into the future. One evening, as we're sitting on the porch, Emily rests her head on my shoulder. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" she says softly. "We have," I reply, feeling a deep sense of peace. "And the journey's just beginning." We sit there watching the sunset, filled with hope and gratitude. The past is behind us, and the future is bright. We've faced the worst and come out stronger, ready to embrace whatever comes next. As the days turn into weeks and the weeks into months, Emily and I continue to grow and evolve. We support each other's dreams, celebrate our victories, and comfort each other in times of need. Our love is a constant source of strength and inspiration. We begin our journey towards starting a family, filled with excitement and hope. The prospect of bringing new life into the world is both daunting and exhilarating, but we face it together as a team. One day, as we're preparing for a new arrival, I look at Emily and feel a surge of gratitude. She's been my rock, my partner, and my love through it all. We've faced incredible challenges, but we've come out stronger, more united than ever. As we stand on the threshold of this new chapter, I know that we're ready for whatever comes next. We've learned the true meaning of love and resilience, and we're ready to build a future filled with joy, hope, and endless possibilities. Together, we've faced the darkness and found the light. And as we embark on this new journey, I know that we'll continue to grow and thrive, always side by side, always stronger together. Emily turns to me, her eyes filled with love and determination. "Here's to our future," she says, raising her glass. "Here's to us," I reply, my heart full. "Always."